This video is sponsored by Honkai Star Rail. From HoYoverse, the creators of Genshin Impact, comes Honkai Star Rail, a free-to-play cross-platform space adventure fantasy RPG. In this game, you take the role of a trailblazer, exploring different worlds across the universe, searching for treasure chests, solving puzzles, exploring each NPC's story, and uncovering the secrets of the world. Available to play and datasync on PC, mobile, and recently released on PS5, Honkai Star Rail is launching its version 1.4 update with 2 all-new characters plus the return of fan-favorite Seal. But that's not all. Update 1.4 takes players back to Belobog to experience a brand new story, featuring new locations such as Pillar of Creation and the Old Weapon Testing Ground. This update also kicks off the Ethereum Wars, where you can pit your favorite monsters against each other. And if you log in for 7 days, you can get 10 free Star Rail Special Passes, which you can use to draw the new limited-time 5-star heroes Jingliu or Topaz Numby. Once a general in the Shansho, Jingliu is a legendary sword fighter with powerful ice destruction DPS. Though courageous and skilled in combat, she succumbed to Mara and was thought to be dead for quite some time. Once her black blindfold has been removed, she transforms and deals punishing damage with her enhanced ability. Topaz, on the other hand, despite her impish appearance, is actually quite the accomplished director of business, the youngest director in the IPC. Inseparable from her pet Numby, who she can summon for support, Topaz is a fire hunt character with superior single-target damage. Players can download Honkai Star Rail by using the link in the description to experience these new characters, and use the redemption codes on screen to redeem 50 Stellar Jade. Just remember that this is a limited time event, so whether you're on PC, mobile, or PS5, be sure to download Honkai Star Rail today and experience the new version 1.4, its brand new story, and its 5-star characters. Thanks again to Honkai Star Rail for sponsoring this video. Okay, on with the show. Oh, no, sorry, you must be mistaken. I don't really cover fan games. I think it's uncouth to compare the standards of passionate fans to those of big-name developers. This is official. You're kidding.
All is not well in Animatronica. Animatronic Village? Village-tronica? We're working on it.
Who's we? Is Fredbear on a village council to decide the name of where the animatronics all live? Who else is part of the council? How new is this village that they haven't decided a name for it yet?
There is a task for you to complete. You have to leave breadcrumbs for him to help him find his way.
Ah, pronoun game. Haven't seen you in a while. And why the hell would I want to leave breadcrumbs for him when I don't even know what him you're referring to? Hold on, I just realized something. Are the birds and the butterflies in Fazbear Hills also animatronics? Because they don't seem to be. I mean, I could be wrong. I can't see them up close, but I feel like they would look distinctly robotic if they were, and they kinda don't. So at some point, this game was updated to include an area known as the Backstage, where you can play an assortment of mini-games to unlock some of the most powerful characters in the game. You're normally supposed to only reach this area when you've beaten the game at least once, but you can get here as early as, well, the beginning of the game, which is why I'm talking about it now. And as far as I know, no one tells you how to do it. Purple Guy tells you it's possible, but no one tells you how. And I think I may know how you're supposed to know, and it's a design choice in this game that irks the hell out of me, which we'll address multiple times moving forward. All you need to know for now is that there are 2 rocks next to some trees in Fazbear Hills. That's your only clue. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Ever since I was defeated as the final boss in FNaF world, I was demoted and sent here.
Anim dude, spoilers!
Listen to my voice, and you will find the key. Listen to my voice, and you will find the key. Listen to my voice, and you will find the key. Listen to my voice, and you will find the key.
Yeah, this doesn't get annoying at all. Also, this is the closest I'll ever get to covering a .exe in one of these kinds of videos, so you're welcome.
How did you access this game before release?
I don't know, man. You're the dev. Clearly you messed up somewhere to allow me to come here before I was supposed to.
FNaF 57, Freddy in space. Freddy was always destined for space.
Wait, FNaF 57 Freddy in Space is a spin-off? How? It's a numbered entry. That's like saying FNaF 4 the final chapter is a spin-off.
FNaF 60, Breakfast at Chica. It's a romantic comedy. She's a killer with a heart of gold.
A romantic comedy? You mean like a visual novel, right? I've never heard of a rom-com video game.
FNaF 61, Freddy vs. Bonnie. It's the beginning of the Freddy cinematic universe.
Cinematic universe? I thought these were video game spin-offs. Like, I know that this minigame is poking fun at movie franchises with a bunch of sequels jumping the gun to keep things fresh like Jason X, but these aren't movies, they're video games. Even in-universe, we're going in to extract code. I just feel like this joke falls flat on its face because I know what it's trying to say, it just doesn't make sense when the video game knows it's a video game. Also, why would you start a cinematic universe on part 61 of a series anyway? One of the requirements for getting the secret characters is to complete Freddy in space with all the cupcake upgrades, and a couple of these are hidden in walls that I just have no idea how Scott expected us to find. There's no real indication or anything that would hint at something being there, and yeah, I'm starting to notice a trend in this game. Characters like the Crying Child and Animdu started off as 2D sprites given a third dimension in this game, but why is Purple Guy still only a sprite? I get that he's not the real Purple Guy, but what difference does it make?
What's this, a space shooter? Holy crap, is that my voice? Voice acting? No! He's gone too far this time!
Yeah, it's not like there hasn't been voice acting in the series since literally the first game.
Alright, I'm ready for action!
Sorry I'm late to the party. Fashionably late, of course. Let's kick this party into high gear!
Why the fuck is JJ the third teammate in Foxy Fighters? You have Toy Chica and Nightmare Chica, shouldn't the other teammate be a Chica too? You still have Phantom, Withered, and OG. Also, I just noticed this, but they're wearing scarves. Shouldn't their talking icons be wearing scarves too?
Bingo! Got him! You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you? You won't get tired of my voice, will you?
How could I? That was only like the fourth time you've spoken so far.
Impossible! You haven't seen the last of me! Oh, actually, yes. This is the last you'll see of me.
Well, not quite. I have to do this at least twice in order to get both characters from this minigame. Okay, how am I supposed to know that I can walk through that tree to get to the next minigame? It looks exactly like all the other trees. Chica's magical rainbow can take her buck teeth and googly eyes and shove them up her clouds. I get it, this is supposed to be unfair, but even unfair games like this have a degree of consistency. The flower petals and the spikes? Yeah, they come out when you least expect them the first time, but at least you can learn where they spawn. The rainbow's laser beams, her homing eyes, and especially those damn laser butterflies all feel so incredibly random. It's doable, but that doesn't mean it's fun or enjoyable.
Yeah, but really, they don't pay me by the hour, so,
Are you getting paid at all?
this is your last chance! I'm gonna kill you!
Really? I only get 33 attempts at doing this already unfair shit before you just say screw it and boot me from the minigame? Also, why 33? Why such a random number of attempts? And then, to unlock Mr. Chipper, a character I don't even use in my playthrough, you have to do all this shit in under 3 minutes! Why does Virtua Freddy have his own loading screen? He isn't a playable character and only shows up as part of an attack.
Something horrible must have happened on the flip side, because it's causing this world to fracture. Objects like the tree behind me have broken, but I think you can use these fractures to get to places you couldn't reach before. You have to go and find the source of these fractures.
If we have to go into an area of this game that shouldn't be normally accessible because it's in the code that makes up your world, how did anybody get to the other places on the map before this then? Are we just trapped here? We can press the buttons to open up the pathways, but why are they closed in the first place? Wow. Push into box. What a puzzle. Wow. Just walk to the right. What a puzzle. Why even have buttons if you're just gonna have me walk in a straight line? Okay, did Scott just not give a shit with the way Fredbear's text boxes wrap? Sometimes a line will start with punctuation or with the M in the word I'm. Wow. Just walk to the left. What a puzzle. Are you faz-f***ing me, Cawthon? This game has another weird design quirk when it comes to its assets not behaving how you would expect them to. I was looking for the northmost entrance to the mysterious mine so I could find the next clock, and in any other top-down or isometric perspective game, this windmill would have collision all over it and not allow you to go past it. But nope, there's nothing behind the windmill and you can just go. And how the hell was I supposed to know that? It's not like there's any parallax scrolling to show me that I can walk behind it. Why would I not assume the whole windmill blocks my way? Okay, the other clock puzzles were stupid easy, but this one is just plain stupid. You're just supposed to know to stand on the correct code, which is 395248. And how are you supposed to know which code is the correct one? By remembering what code takes you to the Stage 1 minigame from FNaF 3. How chronically obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's do you need to be to remember that code just off the top of your head for the sake of a random minigame in a spin-off title? Phantom BB. Because reasons. You know, Scott, no one forced you to write anything on these loading screens. If you had nothing to put there, you didn't have to write anything in the first place. What the f***, man? How am I supposed to know I can just walk through that tree? What about that tree looks any different from any of the other ones on this map?
I have to warn you, I've seen two giant animatronics roaming the fairground. A giant bear and a giant pig.
Hold on, are you talking about Bubba and Pork Patch? Because Pork Patch isn't roaming the fairgrounds, he's stuck in a corner at Lily Gear Lake. No, hold on, we already did this one with Balloon Boy. Why is doing it with Rickfast Fascia considered a separate puzzle? This is your map? Why are you showing me the entire game? Yeah, just the area I'm at would be helpful, thanks. I'm fighting a Marine now. Okay! Admittedly, this one is purely my opinion, but there are definitely things about this game that you'll need to look up in order to do. I believe you could beat this game without a guide, eventually, but there are a bunch of things I have no idea how anyone could know to do without one. And for this game, knowing it was an RPG, I wanted to see what the fastest route to getting everything was, and saw that in order to buy everything you need from Lolbit and Mendo, you'd need a total of around 32,000 fast tokens, and the fastest way to do that is to find and defeat Gold Endo, a secret boss that only appears in Pinwheel Funhouse multiple times on hard mode because it pays out 1,000 tokens each time, compared to normal mode's 500 tokens. But Gold Endo spawns randomly throughout this part of the map, and even if he passes you on his path, he has a chance to ignore you completely. The way to get him consistently is to stand in a certain spot, enter and exit one of the menus, thus resetting his path, and maybe he'll spawn, followed by restarting the game and process once he's been defeated. Now, mind you, every time you exit a menu in this game, the overworld has to reload, meaning you get a loading screen which, while not terribly long, aren't exactly short either, at around 5.5 seconds a pop. And when you're not guaranteed a Gold Endo encounter every time you do this, the loading screens start to add up. Couple this with the fact that in order for the tokens to register on your save file, they need to count down from 1,000 to 0, which takes 13 seconds each time. That's like 13 times 32 equals 416 divided by 60 equals 6.933, repeating about 7 minutes by itself, not counting the fights, not counting the loading screens, not counting resets. Normally, I wouldn't bring up grinding as an issue, mostly because it's usually optional and the sentiment towards grinding varies from person to person. I, for example, don't mind doing some grinding when I know what to look for and if I can see my stats go up, be they levels, currency, whatever. But mind you, I'm using some of the strongest moves in the game and I've still found all the random encounters and grinding a chore, even though I'm crushing most things in one turn. I can't imagine what trying to get everything in this game by playing normally is like if this is the fast way of doing it. Because you know what the alternative is? Doing Dee Dee's fishing hole and getting the pearl over and over again. Yeah, no thanks. And that's not everything, because it just so happens that Pinwheel Funhouse is also the one location where every single adventure animatronic can appear, the ones that can join your party. Now, normally you can only get 2 or 3 new ones per area alongside any from previous areas you visited, but Pinwheel Funhouse is the last place where new adventure animatronics appear, meaning that all previous ones can show up here too. So overall, a great place to get any and all party members you haven't found yet. Except for the ones that are new to this area. Spring Bonnie, Fredbear, and especially Nightmare took forever for me to find. Which is funny because statistically, it should have been the other way around. Nightmare should have been the easiest of the 3 to find. I was running in place for an hour and a half, basically delirious by the end of it, trying to get these animatronics to spawn. And bear in mind, I had both the Run, Luck, and Find Characters chips equipped, which speed up the process. I can only imagine what it would have been like if I hadn't had them. And it was during me grinding for the characters that I happened upon the exit of Pinwheel Funhouse, and look, I know Fredbear said that there were false walls and secret doors, but come the f*** on. Why would my instinct ever be, oh yeah, that little area between the Funhouse and Black Tomb Yard, yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. Again, there is nothing to me that would indicate that that wall in particular is fake. And the thing is, when you design a game like this, what ends up happening is that your players stop looking out for things and start walking into every possible wall like a jackass just in case there's something there. The glitched objects at the very least have a static overlay applied to them, making them look slightly different enough from regular objects that you might miss it, but it's still clearly observable. The trees and gravestones and walls that you can pass through in this game look no different from any regular tree, gravestone, or wall. There's no sense of accomplishment for figuring it out because you don't figure anything out. You just happen upon it like I did, and I've been here looking for the exit for about an hour and a half now. Male, female, it's a rabbit, who cares? Well, clearly you do, considering you gave a ghost fox he and she pronouns. Okay, again, I hadn't gotten the stupid EverComet weak chip because it does not look like I can get to where the auto chipper is, right? I'm not crazy, right?
There are objects that you can press against, and it will break your collision detection. One is a yellow bird on a tree stump, another is a gravestone.
Oh! Now you tell me! In an easy to accidentally skip secret conversation that I can only view once! And you know what the worst part is? You know how I told you to keep in mind those two rocks in Fazbear Hills? They're there so you know where to press up against and clip into the backstage. And this is the mechanic that irks me. I actually figured that you'd be able to walk through this one gravestone in Blacktomb Yard when I first got here because it's next to some trees that lead to a suspiciously lone gravestone. There, having no collision actually makes sense because of how it's designed, and I thought it would be just like the other places I'd run into throughout the rest of the game. But nope, I had to press up against it before the collision broke. What a silly bitch am I! And in case you were wondering, entering these glitched overworlds is how you get some of these seemingly unobtainable chips. Because that makes f***ing sense when you can't interact with literally anything else. And there's a third object you can glitch through that Fredbear doesn't tell you about in Dusting Fields. The bird on a stump is pretty unique. I mean, there's a couple of them, but they stand out amongst all the other tree stumps. I already explained why the gravestone seemed like you should be able to glitch through it. This one's just a f***ing rock. Nothing distinct about it, just a dancing, smoky Freddy on a stump near it. Not even next to it, just in the general area. What? What the f*** about that one? By the time you're next to that mushroom, the camera and UI obscure the hidden area it goes to, so how are you supposed to even see that that's a place you might be able to go to? And even then, you have another hidden path. I mean, you're already here, you might as well take a random chance at running into the trees, right? I was going around in circles for a while during this last set of subtunnels because, again, you are meant to pass through an object that is normally solid. As far as I'm aware, the game has never taught us that this is possible in subtunnels too, and it doesn't help that the object I'm headed for is an ocean of monochromatic pixels with scan lines over them, surrounded by a bunch of other walls which all look the same! Something kind of weird that this game does, which I hadn't really thought of until now, is have its guardians look identical to weaker bosses we fought before. Snowcone looks just like Bouncer, Supergoon looks just like Seagoon, and Overclock looks just like Mad Endo. With my team, I could decimate the regular bosses, so I was confused why the guardians were taking longer to beat until I noticed their names were different. It's just strange, like you couldn't even make them recolors or something to make them at least stand out?
Was I really the villain in your mind? I mean, sure, this is definitely one way to bring the story to a halt, but surely there was a more satisfying end. I just do what is demanded of me. I fill your insatiable gullets with more and more and more. And now here you are to show your gratitude. Well, congratulations then. I haven't brought this story to an end. You did. So feel good about yourself for ending the story by killing the storyteller.
Okay, bro, the story you were telling was Five Nights at Freddy's, so calm down. Also, don't put that on us. The last game you released was called Five Nights at Freddy's 4: The Final Chapter. If you wanted to end the story, you very well could have. Get this right, as if that last subtunnel sequence didn't annoy me enough, the way to get to Old Man Consequences is by passing through not one, not two, but 3 block trees that look just like all the rest. And speaking of Old Man Consequences, the 4th glitch ending is obvious enough, but how is anyone supposed to figure out the drowning ending? It's not like you can just go to the lake, you have to pace back and forth above it. And then you fall for a solid 2 minutes before getting the ending screen. That's why I think a guide is necessary for this game sometimes, because how many people would just stare at a Freddy sprite falling for 2 minutes before finally deciding to restart or close the game? The worst part is that even though it's technically a different ending, it still gives you the same trophy as the 4th glitch ending does.
This is fire. It was never fire.
It was supposed to be me. It was always supposed to be me! My world was lush and beautiful, full of strange and colorful creatures. But no, that wasn't enough for you. You wanted to be scared. You wanted to feel dread.
Well, it's not that people wanted to be scared or feel dread, it's that you looked like a creepy Chuck E. Cheese reject and your creator took that personally. The same Fredbear can't occupy the same space at the same time. Well, see, it's funny you should say that, because in trying to get this ending, I accidentally waited until last minute and tried to get it after beating the game and having the NPC Fredbear show up outside the Deskman's house, and yeah, there we go, 2 Fredbears, no problem. The Guy Slayer is pretty annoying to navigate, which, yeah, is the point. It just sucks that I can't see anything, and what little I can see looks the same as everything else. I know I made fun of the map earlier, but at least it helps me navigate the mine sections. Here, the map is useless because I'm in an area of eternal darkness, so I never know where I am.
Really think I'd let a moron like you reach the end of the game?
Hey, Jimmy Neutron! I can't even hear you because of all the sound effects necessary to even beat you! It's bad enough that I have to inflict 500,000 points of damage to you, but to do that in under 3 minutes is just cruel! Yes, you heard me correctly! I have to inflict 500,000 hit points of damage in 180 seconds! That means I have to do 2,777.77 repeating points of damage a second to beat this thing, and for reference, the strongest attack you can do in this game, Slasher, has a 10% chance of dealing 100,000 damage! Now, admittedly, I went in with the completely wrong chips and got lucky to beat it just before the time ran out, but it's still really silly!
You cheated!
First of all, f*** you. Second of all, why do you only have 1 tooth? Don't you normally have 2? Now that we have the power of hindsight, who the hell is Deskman even supposed to be? It's not William Afton because, well, Springtrap. It's not Cassette Man because he dies at the end of Pizzeria Simulator. And it's not Scott because, well, could it be Scott? He does say that we deactivated his games, and we know that Scott was the guy who made FNaF 57 Freddy in Space. But he also represented himself through his Animdude avatar as the puppet master of FNaF World. And if it's Scott, why would he represent himself a third time like this? As a gray dude who follows a different speech pattern and then dies because of Circus Baby.
You still suck!
Hey everyone, Charai5 here. Thank you so much for watching my CINEMASINS pastiche of everything wrong with FNaF World. Now, you might have noticed something. I did a Pizzeria Simulator video before I did a FNaF World one, and there's 2 reasons for that. For one, I was getting back to the Five Nights at Freddy's series on this channel, and I wanted to do so with a main series game. I didn't want to do it with a spinoff. And the second reason, and more importantly, this is genuinely where I thought FNaF World went in the timeline. I thought it went 1, 2, 3, 4, Sister Location, Pizza Sim, FNaF World, Ultimate Custom Night. No, this game goes before Sister Location. My bad. I still tried to, like, look at the video as if I'd never played Sister Location before, except for that last end. That last end was in pure retrospect, but regardless. Question of the video. What do you think of this game? Because I feel like when this game came out, it was was received very negatively. I think that it's one of the most divisive games in the series because, you know, it wasn't a horror game when it came out. I mean, it still isn't, but like the problem was that when it came out, you know, the concept of it not being a horror game was sort of frowned upon. And I think that nowadays I see a lot of people sing this game's praises, and I sort of fall somewhere in between, where like I don't really care that it's not a horror game. I think that, you know, Scott really had something going with the concept. I just wish that it were a lot better designed, as you could no doubt tell from the video. You know, subscribe to CINEMASINS, check out all their other stuff that they have to offer, check out some of my stuff that you know, if you haven't seen some of my stuff, These are the beautiful, I don't know why I'm putting my hand over them. I'm so sorry. They're the patrons, they're the members. They are the wonderful people who decide to contribute to this channel financially each and every single month. If you want to see your name alongside these wonderful people, you can do so by hitting the link in the description or hitting that join button underneath the video. Obviously, you do not have to. Just watching, commenting, sharing, liking, all that good engagement stuff is good enough for me, but I do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who is on screen right now. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay awesome. This is Charai5, signing off.